There comes a point, doesn't there, after all the whispers, after all the quiet disorientation, there comes a point when the moment the internal tension becomes too much to bear. For me, it was a slow burn, but it culminated in this undeniable, visceral feeling. I can't keep living like this anymore. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't like a movie scene epiphany. It was more like a quiet, firm declaration to myself. It was a line that was written hard in the sand, in the concrete before it set. It was the exhaustion of pretending, the weariness of constantly saying yes and trying to fit into a mold that no longer served me. It just reached its limit. I was done. It's that moment when you realize the energy it takes to maintain the facade, to ignore the truth, is far greater than the energy it would take to actually change. The thought of another day, another week, another year, living in that disconnect, it felt heavier than any fear that I ever known. It was more than not knowing what was ahead of me if I decided to change. It was a decision born not of anger, but of sheer profound weariness and a desperate need for authenticity. Authenticity to myself. I deserve that. You deserve that. I hit a wall. I hit a wall of doing everything right. Have you experienced that? I was doing everything right, but I got to a point where I wasn't going any further. And then that wall said to me, Lynette, you got to stop performing. I had to stop trying to prove my worth in corporate when no matter how great I was or I am, or no matter how great you are, and no matter how you deliver exceptionally on corporate milestones, I was just a number in the chart of human capital. The pandemic put so much pressure on my team, on myself, on the physicians around the world, and on the patients that were enrolled in our clinical trials. But the company wanted what they wanted. I sacrificed. I gave it to them. And you know what? They got what they wanted, but you know what? They just asked for more. I couldn't, I wouldn't give more. Not at that level again, only to make them a billion. But my emotional health was spiraling to the lowest it had ever been. I was tired. Sometimes I felt a little angry with myself because I was putting so much into making everything that I touched successful. But in the end of the day, it wasn't valued how I thought it should have been valued. So again, I was just tired. And then I took time off. And when I came back to just enough. I questioned why I felt this need to prove myself, to get the check mark of approval, to live based on the rules of the blueprint. That same blueprint that we talked in the video earlier this week. And in that moment when I finally allowed myself to say, I can't keep living like this anymore, something shifted. It wasn't that I suddenly had all the answers or a clear path forward. Not at all. But the internal battle, the one I have been fighting against myself, it finally quieted. There was this new kind of peace in that firm decision that I'm not going to live this way anymore. It was a recognition that this was the only way forward. Now, if you're feeling that tension, that profound weariness, that undeniable pull to say, enough is enough, listen to it. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of profound strength. It's your truest self calling you home. It's calling you back to your life design, not the design that someone else created for you. It is your truest self. And that decision, that quiet yet firm declaration, is the most powerful step that you can take. I took it. And my life has been evolving for the better because now I am designing this phase in my life based on what is true to me, that is aligned with my values and with my desires, and going back to what was really important to me, what I really want to create in this life. So if this has resonated with you, please like this video and share it with a woman who is standing at her own decision point. Because so many of us are here, have been here, and maybe we didn't have someone to help us get to the other side. And after you have shared, please subscribe to the channel to join a community of women ready to design what comes next. Because your journey is just beginning. I am Lynette. I'll see you next time in a life redesign.